All right, it is already time for my October recap. So, this was a bit of an interesting month. I did not set aside anything extra to my savings this month, but that was not initially the plan anyway. So, I'm mostly happy with the results. We're going to go through each category here in just a second. So, I find that I am the type of person, if I am being overly aggressive about trying to save money, trying to put extra money towards paying off debt, anything like that, I can budget like crazy. Like I can really just whittle down to like the absolute bare necessities, and that is it for about 6 to 8 months at the maximum. And I eventually just get to a point where I'm very squirmy and it's like, okay, I've got to go have some fun. I've got to loosen up a little bit and just not have this much stress on me. So that's kind of what happened in October. So I'm not exactly disappointed with the results. So my biggest expense as usual was rent at $1,346.25. That was 25% of my expenses. Next up, though, is entertainment. At 13% of my expenses came to $709.57. Initially, this category was supposed to be $200 to $250, so I am definitely over budget. So there was a concert October 28th. I really knew I wanted to go. I wasn't able to get tickets in advance, and it kind of became a day of decision as to whether or not I was even going to be able to make it work. On top of that, I kind of got sick around that time and was sick for a couple days, so I almost missed out completely. I was able to go. I ended up getting a $150 ticket like an hour, I think less than an hour before the concert started. I don't push it like that. I never do last minute stuff like that. Like something like this, I want planned well in advance. So it was a very stressful experience getting there, but I did get there. I think the total cost for the ticket came to like $165 with fees or something, which is not too crazy. I am disappointed with the parking situation. I paid for a parking pass for like $40 plus a fee of like $6, and then I wasn't able to pull it up, so I couldn't use it. I ended up finding free parking, so it was a total waste of money anyway. So I was really frustrated with that experience. But I had so much fun. I was like, you know what? I needed this. This was so worth it. It was worth every penny. Getting there at the last minute, all the stress, everything else I've got going on, I made it anyways. So I was like, you know what? I want to go to another one. I'm going on November 4th. I got 2 tickets this time, but they are the best seats. One of my friends has not gotten back to me about whether or not he can actually go, and I didn't want to miss out on those tickets. So one of these tickets that I got for the next concert may end up being something that I resell possibly, because the plan is basically that they'll pay for like the gas and the food for the road trip, and then I'll pay for the concert ticket. So we'll see what happens there. I may end up getting some of this money back, but as of right now, that is where I'm at for my October spending. Now the eating out category is up next at 11%, $575.37. So I've been talking for a while about some of the issues I've had in my apartment. My dishwasher is kaput, which is fine. That part I can deal with, but now I can't even use the kitchen sink. Basically, what's happening is everything is draining into the dishwasher when I use the sink. And I found that out in a very unfortunate way because I had no idea this was happening, and I hadn't used my dishwasher for like 2.5 weeks. And I happened to open it because I smelled something, and it had been full of water at the bottom that had been sitting in this closed space for 2.5 weeks. It was the nastiest thing to clean out. It was a traumatizing experience. So I will say I'm not mad at myself for not cutting eating out, because that was my way of dealing with the problem, but it didn't have to be this much. It did not have to be $575. I also have made progress. I've solved like half the problem. Apparently my cats love to, you know how cats are with socks, okay? They love to play with socks. I think what happened is they stuffed a sock down the sink. I know I didn't stuff the sock down the sink, so someone had to. But anyways, that's what made the garbage disposal have an issue, and one of the socks got pushed down farther. So that blockage has been removed, but I'm still having some issues. I don't know when I'll be able to be home at a good time for maintenance, because I really don't want them in the house when I'm not here. So that's kind of schedule-wise one of the issues I've had. Right now, I'm not worrying about it. What I'm doing instead is I'm washing my dishes with a bucket inside the kitchen sink so that I can go dump it in the bathtub, which sucks, but I've actually gone and bought groceries. I am sticking to groceries for most of November. That might not be every single meal, but I've had enough of eating out, not just for money. I'm eating crap. Like, enough. Something's got to change at some point. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to get an appointment and they'll be able to fix it relatively quickly, but we'll see. Next up is my Nissan car note at 10%, $569.37. Next up is Nissan insurance at 6%, $339.16, which is actually lower it was closer to like $380, which is crazy. So basically, several years ago, I was involved in a fatal car accident. That was not my fault. That made my car insurance skyrocket. And then a year and a half, 2 years ago, I got a settlement out of it. I didn't get nearly what I deserved, but that made my car insurance jump again. So I have shopped around, and this actually is the cheaper price that was available. Next up, I am dealing with the Jetta car debt. That is 6%, $317.73. Now this one I am thinking about cutting. So the $317 a month is basically my way of paying it off within a 2-year time period. And I want it done. I want it over with. I want it off my plate. But I do think it is just a little bit much. So I haven't made a decision just yet, but I am thinking about calling them and being like, okay, I still want auto payments. I still want to, get this taken care of, but let's just see if we can get a lower monthly payment. Like I'd say like $250 would probably be the most that I should be putting towards that right now. Next up is hobbies at 5%, $294.56. So that is actually the setup that you're seeing right now. So I already had plenty of YouTube equipment, but basically I was tired of using my phone for all of my filming because it was just bogging down my device, and I was constantly having to push back filming because I didn't have enough space on my phone and I wasn't ready to edit yet. I would constantly be in this cycle of running out of space on my everyday use phone. So what I use now is a Samsung A16 film on and a Hollyland Lark A1 mic. And this is just a tripod. It has I want to mess up the audio while doing that, but basically it just has a metal base and I can just attach it right here and use this as my mic stand. I put this under hobbies because neither YouTube channel that I have is monetized, and they may never be monetized. And as far as other methods, I don't know if I'm ever going to have affiliate marketing or anything to sell. I don't think those are bad ideas, but I just don't know. So while that could change at some point, I do view YouTube as more of a hobby than a business, because even if I never get money from it, I will continue to be invested in it. I'd be a little more invested in it if I was making something from it, sure, but I would continue to make YouTube videos even if I never get monetized and never get money from any other source from YouTube. But the other benefit of getting another phone is it stays in a drawer at home. I don't take it out with me. I have filmed some videos like around the neighborhood, but the point is it's not with me all the time, because that was another problem. I was constantly on YouTube Studio. I'm looking at my analytics. I'm looking at, the suggestions YouTube is making for me, what videos they want me to make next, etc. And it just became this thing where it's like, it's giving me a complex, but then it's also just absorbing so much of my time. So now it's much easier to have discipline with my YouTube work. YouTube workflow is a whole other problem. My YouTube workflow is a mess. I've been doing YouTube too long for my YouTube workflow to be this much of a mess, but it's given me so much peace of mind. I don't have YouTube Studio on my regular phone. I don't look at my channel on my phone. If I want to do anything YouTube related, I pull this phone from my drawer and I'm in my living room or my bedroom and I am doing actual YouTube work. And then I'm putting the phone away, and that's that. I do think I should have probably put this purchase off for a little bit. I think this is a great mic to use. This is a great phone to use, so I don't have a problem with what I selected. But financially, I think it could have waited another couple of months. Would it have really hurt anything? Yeah, it's less than $300. It's nothing crazy. I didn't invest in something ridiculous, but that's still a little bit to drop at one time. I think what I was using with the headset and my regular phone, I could have just continued doing that until I saved up a little bit of money to make this purchase. Next up is credit card 2 at 3%, $175. I have a small balance left on that one, but I made this payment after I decided to purchase the tickets for the next concert, so that's kind of why the balance is not paid off completely. So there is still a little bit of a balance left on credit card 2. Next up is pets at 3%, $161.83. That is their pet insurance and then any pet food or pet litter that I had to buy. Emergency fund is 2% at $134. $100 is all I put aside though. I think that $34 I was paying the emergency fund back for something. I think there was something like right before payday that I needed. Phone bill, 2%, $130.11. YNAB, 2%, $109. Okay, so let's talk about YNAB briefly. Kind of wish I did not get the subscription, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's bad, but I feel like the way I don't know. So I kind of regret my YNAB subscription if I'm being fully transparent. I don't think it's a bad system by any means. I'm just not sure it works with the way my brain works. I don't think it was a software for me to use. Now that I've paid the subscription, I'm going to stick with it. But basically what you do with YNAB is when you have money come in, it basically goes into a category called ready to assign. You then go through and assign that money. So the idea is to go into this program and give every dollar a job, and then kind of track your progress as your transactions are entered into the system. And I don't know what it is, but like I budget by paycheck. And so that's how I do everything. So to implement YNAB has been a little bit more difficult than I expected, because basically I'm letting the transactions coming through and then going in and assigning stuff so that it balances out. I don't know. It's just not working for me. And I don't know if I'm very frustrated because I really feel like I need something besides just my paycheck budgets. And now I paid for an annual subscription and I'm not sure I'm going to use it. I'm just very frustrated because I really feel like paycheck budgeting is not doing a bad job. I just feel like I need a bigger monthly picture. And that's kind of why I signed up for YNAB in the first place. And now I'm at a place where I'm not really happy with it. And I kind of feel like, I need a little bit more than just the paycheck budgeting, but maybe YNAB or something like that is not, maybe I just need a monthly spread. Maybe it needs more paper. I don't know. I really like YNAB, but I just feel like it does not quite work for me and what I've got going on. So I kind of regret the annual subscription, to be honest. But I've paid for it. I'm going to stick with it and kind of see if I can find a way to make this work. Next up is credit card 1 at 2%, $100. Credit card 3, 2%, $100. Shopping is at 2%, $92.04. I needed to replace my 2 purchase for something specific or just, basic personal care. I will put that under clothes because I consider it to be a necessity. Shopping is really spending money to satisfy yourself. So I guess technically the bathrobe could have gone under clothes, whereas the rest of it could have gone under shopping, but I put it all under shopping. And then we have just a couple of categories that are under 1%: fuel, internet, personal care, groceries, laundry, and treats. So for November, there should be, I don't know if I'm going to budget anything for entertainment, but after this concert a few days ago and the concert I'm going to have next week, I don't need to be spending anything on entertainment. Grocery should be about $100 because I'm pretty stocked up right now, and then giving myself about $50 per paycheck unless I'm really trying to stock up on stuff. So $100 a month for groceries should be fine. I'll still probably eat out once or twice, so maybe a budget of $60, $70, but certainly not $575. I will call them about the Jetta payments I'm making. I think I still want to prioritize paying off that debt, but I don't think it needs to be $317 a month. I think that's just a little bit too much right now. And the only good thing about upgrading my YouTube setup is I found something that worked for me that's much more simplified, and that purchase is out of the way. So I don't have to worry about spending any money there in November. So November, I feel like, is kind of the month I want to get back on track. I've had my fun. I went out and bought some things that I've been wanting to buy for a while, but now that that's over, time to get back to basics. I will continue to be setting aside $50 a month from every single paycheck. Starting in January, what I auto transfer to my savings will probably go to $80 or $85, and then I'm looking to up the amount again by spring. Basically, what I prefer to do is auto transfer what I know I can do as a minimum, and then just whenever I'm able, just transfer manually anything else that I feel I can set aside towards savings. So yeah, that was my October. Definitely focus more on just having fun and relaxing a little bit more this month. So I had my fun. I'm glad I did, but the next couple of months will be much more tighter of a budget for me as I get back in line.